Hey YouTube, what's going on? I wanted to make a video for y'all showing you how I mix in Ableton Live using only stock plugins for the most part. This is going to be really helpful for those of you that may not have any VSTs or any other plugins yet. And I'm going to show y'all how I made this beat here and mixed it. All right, so let's get into it. So we're going to start with, of course, the most important thing I think in it is the chords. So we have two sets of chords here. As you can see, we have our chords here and our chords over here. There is not a lot difference between these two, but on our chords over here that are without our 808s or our low end bass, we have our root note duplicated on our chords. What this is going to do is help give a little more low end in the absence of our bass or our 808, which I have over here. In order to control this, what you want to do is add an EQ8 to this and do a mid-side EQ. What this does is allows you to split your signal and how you want to EQ. So on the sides here, I have a little bit rolled off on the low end, and then in the middle, I'm leaving only the low end. This is going to add stereo width and keep the bass mono dead center. So when you have it here in the center, it's going to sound like this. Without this chain, it sounds like this. So that helps to control things there. When I don't have these going on, I do have an 808 or a restyle bass over here. Not too much is going on, but the key thing over here, which is keeping everything nice and tame, is that I have this compressor side chained to my drum rack, and then it's specifically chaining to the kick of everything. So I have set that to post effects, meaning that all effects I've added to my kick, it is chaining to everything after those effects are applied. So with that, you get this nice breed and nice mix of everything. So we can kind of hear that in context. Oop, that's the wrong one. So so here in context, this is what it sounds like with the combination. And you can see that ducking down here, that it's making that kick punch through all the more, thus giving a lot of life and a lot of breath to the whole track. Next, what we have going on here is in our drums, we have a couple things in factor. On our hi-hat track, we have velocity, which is going to make each of these a little bit random as we go through. So that way there's a little bit of differences in these as we go on. We have a saturator on the kick and the snare here. So what this does is add a little more grit to everything, helps add punch to the kick, and helps make the snare snap all the more. One unique thing in our drum track is that we have the snare reversed at one point. So we have a tail of it that's going to hit right before we hit the snare. So what our drum track will sound like is going to be a little bit like this. So there we have that there. Next, what we've got going on is on our vocal chain, we have contact, we have exhale, which is just giving us some vocals. There's not really a lot to do with this one because the plugin comes stock with reverb delays and it sounds good by itself. All we've done here is add a little bit of auto filter to keep that low end, giving that room to breathe for the low end bass. Lastly, we have this arpeggiation that I made here. So what's going on this one is kind of a similar story where we have a low pass or high pass filter here that's taken off that low end, and you don't need to do a lot to get a special effect. With the Echo plugin, you can set delays and send to a reverb, giving a little more sonic differences and helping it pop all the more. So by itself, it would sound like this. And then we add the echo. So that's gonna bring a lot of take away a lot of the emptiness in your track. So, and as you notice, this isn't a very big project, but it all sounds complete and full. So in context, once we have everything together, we get this full, complete sounding mix. And there you have it. So not a lot of complex. You don't need to have all these special like hidden mixing tips to make your stuff sound good, but this is a good place to kind of get you going. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime. This is Tiger's Eye. Stay gold.